ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Indeed, this is a very important day. This is the day when Kenya's first generation 1,000 shilling notes ceased to exist in value. But it is also the very important day when KDIC's deposit coverage limit is revised. And I think it's safe to say revised upwards. But to know up to what extent is why we are here. Indeed, it is my honor to invite the gentleman who's been a leader, and as you've been seeing in the video, moving from undertaker to consultant as a risk minimizer, and now looking at resolution to bring people back to business in an orderly and efficient manner. Please join me in welcoming the Chief Executive Officer of the Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, Mr. Ahmed Mohamud. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mike. You know, I always say, Mike, can you mic us? I think now he has mic'd all of us. And Waziri, CS, Ambassador Ukuriatani, Chairman of the KDIC board, Mr. Tekolo Poyetung, and board members present, Chairman CBK board, and Mohamed Nyaoga, and board members present, CEOs of respective institutions, our development partners, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very warm welcome, and we really did want to thank you. First and foremost, we want to thank the Almighty for giving us this opportunity, for making us to perform this function that we want to perform today. And Waziri, we really want to appreciate you. I know you have a very, very busy schedule. And Waziri said whatever it takes, even if it's 6 o'clock in the morning, he will have to come and be with us in this auspicious occasion. Waziri, we don't take that for granted. We really, really appreciate that. And that is actually a memorable thing for KDIC. So ladies and gentlemen, I have a written speech and I'll try to read it as fast as possible. I don't like reading speeches, but I'll just read speech. I like just talking off cuff. But let me today read the speech so that at least people who made this speech will also feel that we have also honored them, isn't it? Thank you. I'm greatly pleased and honored to welcome you all to this auspicious occasion. Allow me first to recognize the presence of the Honorable Ambassador Ukuriatani, Acting CS for National Treasury, who out of his extremely busy schedule, graciously agreed to officiate this event. Similarly, I wish to express my gratitude to you all for finding time very early in the morning. And you know, as people who come from the Ngombe side, we say when it rains in the morning, it's a sign of goodness and prosperity, isn't it? I think, Waziri, there's a lot of prosperity today. And I wish to express my gratitude to you all for finding time to join us as we gear up for yet another chapter in our endeavor to enhance services to those we serve. I reckon that your presence here today is testimony to the confidence you have in us as far as our mandate is concerned. In this regard, Honorable CS, please feel welcome. KDIC, Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, popularly referred to as KDIC because that's our brand name, was established by the government as a resolution authority and mandated to protect small and vulnerable depositors against the loss of their bank deposits and provide incentives for sound risk management. To further strengthen our mandate, KDI Act was enacted in 2012. Through the Act, the corporation is able to promptly and proactively resolve problems in any member institution that may jeopardize the interests of depositors or the banking sector. As such, the corporation plays a very critical role in ensuring financial stability in the country. The KDI Act empowers the board of the corporation, the chairman present here, and board members to independently formulate policies and guidelines as may be necessary with a view to enhancing KDIC's operations in line with our mandate. The policies and guidelines are aimed at not only ensuring that the corporation as a safety net player keeps abreast with the dynamics in the financial sector, but also promotes public confidence in the banking sector. This is achieved by maintaining a stable and efficient deposit insurance system to support the financial sector. Honorable CS, ladies and gentlemen, in order to safeguard depositors in cases of bank failure, we have established a contributory insurance scheme whereby member institutions pay premiums annually to support the build-up of the fund. The growth of the fund is based on the annual premiums and investment returns earned. Allow me, Honorable CS, to point out that the law limits the investments of these funds to government securities for safety and liquidity reasons. We actually contribute a lot to treasury bills and treasury bonds. That means we contribute to the development of this country. All our funds actually are invested in treasury bills and treasury bonds. Honorable CS, ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, we shall deepen our close cooperation and coordination with the National Treasury and the Central Bank of Kenya on information sharing, and this will ensure early intervention and prompt resolution of problem bank with a view to fostering stability in the financial sector. In keeping with this mission, and appreciating that risk management is a joint venture, the corporation manages the risk exposure through complementing the existing regulatory and supervisory framework of the Central Bank of Kenya. This is done through KDIC's market surveillance system and providing incentives for sound risk management in the financial system through its proposed risk-based premium system. We are no longer undertakers, now we call ourselves consultants. DPF, our predecessor, used to be called undertaker. But for us now, we don't want Bwana Waziri to undertake, we want to resolve banks. And so Kenyans, we have endeavored to provide protection to small, vulnerable, and unsophisticated depositors. This was deliberately designed to discourage moral hazard amongst profit-driven investors. Honorable CS, ladies and gentlemen, in order to fulfill our mandate as a risk minimizer, the corporation started a campaign to engage member institutions on sound risk management. On the 9th May this year, all the stakeholders were engaged on the risk-based premium system, which is kicking off on the 1st of July, 2020. And Waziri, this is one of the incentives we want to give to our member institutions in order to bring market discipline and also create what we call equity. As we prepare to roll it out in July next year, it's our conviction and strong conviction that the implementation of this model will trigger risk-reducing behavior of banks. As you are aware, banks are holding a national asset called deposits, and those deposits must be jealously guarded. We are all aware that the banking sector in Kenya has experienced dynamic growth in the last few years, and this has diversified the risk profiles of our member institutions. In view of this, we wish to acknowledge that our safety net players have had to adjust to these changes. These decisions taken by our stakeholders are in tandem with KDIC's strategic pillar that have seen us review the the maximum protected amount per depositor. Moving forward, we shall continue to promote public confidence as envisioned in our strategic plan 2019-2023. We need to assure depositors that their deposits and savings are well protected. I will therefore challenge all member institutions present to ensure that the deposits are prudently invested. In the same breath, the corporation undertakes to diligently continue discharging its mandate of protecting and promptly resolving problem banks in close cooperation with central bank and other safety net players. In conclusion, Bwana CS, I wish to reiterate the corporation's commitment to embracing the best practices in deposit insurance, to fully support the Vision 2030 and Big Four agenda, as well as to partner with all stakeholders for the stability of the financial system. With your permission, Honorable CS, I wish now to welcome the Chairman of KDIC Board of Directors, Mr. James Tekolopoyotum, to address us. Thank you.
The Acting CS National Treasury, Ambassador Yatani, CEOs of financial institutions, or their representatives, vice chancellors or representatives of the universities, board members, KDIC management, all invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my pleasure this morning to welcome each and every one of you to this occasion. As we commemorate the journey of the Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation and indeed to mark this important milestone in our activities. We are here to celebrate increased deposit coverage limit. That is undoubtedly great impact to individual depositors, small, macro businesses, and indeed the larger economy. The strategic themes for the Corporation's 2018-2023 strategic plan include risk management, deposit insurance, prompt resolution of troubled institutions, stakeholder management, and organizational capacity. KDIC has continued to devote and execute its mandate of risk minimization and prompt resolution of problem banks in order to minimize the adverse effects of bank failures. This has necessitated close working partnership between Central Bank of Kenya, member institutions, and other safety net players. Risk minimization is aimed at ensuring that there is early detection and intervention of risk exposure to safeguard deposits placed with banks from potential risk necessitated by weak frameworks. As part of our risk minimization, KDIC continues to investigate sound risk management by the member institutions. The corporation has developed a risk-based premium methodology to give incentives to the banks and to ensure there is efficient risk management. This methodology, ladies and gentlemen, is set as has been announced by the CEO in July 2020. Honorable CS, the risk-based premium model introduces fairness and equity in charging premium. Currently, it's a flat rate. Going forward, it will be differential depending on your risks. And KDIC shall continue to play its mandated role in ensuring minimal disruption of banking business, and in the unlikely event of a problem, prompt resolution is undertaken. The corporation is committed to safeguarding the Depositors Insurance Fund for enhanced stability for this country. Regarding prompt resolution, I am glad to mention that the corporation has in the last 3 years adopted purchase and assumption methodology in the resolution, for example, of banks like former bank like Chase Bank or Imperial. This method ensures that depositors have access to a portion of their deposits even before the banks are placed in liquidation. This distinguished guest is a milestone that we have to celebrate. I'm glad, again, to mention that the corporation is committed to fully engaging on the attainment of the Vision 2030 blueprint for this country. I wish to reiterate that the KDIC strategy is designed to support the creation of vibrant and competitive financial sector, driving high level of savings and financial within this country, and ensuring that there are sufficient funds for the investment in various sectors in this country. I would like also to say that we encourage also the universities to take an active part in also teaching and training issues to do with the resolutions of banks. And that's why majority, those who are invited, you are here today, so that we can partner together to ensure that courses relating to bank resolutions are also entrenched in our educational system. In conclusion, the Honorable CS, allow me once again to thank you for gracing this occasion. And on behalf of the KDIC board, on behalf also of the CBK board, it is my single honor to welcome you, the Cabinet Secretary, and also the Honorable CS. As you know, both CBK and KDIC work very closely, and that is the nature of any resolution and efficient resolution mechanism in a country. And just before I conclude, Honorable CS, and with your permission, just allow me, so that my counterpart, Bwana Nyaoga, can even say jambo to people here. And in any case, Bwana Nyaoga is a guy who holds the actual cash. So it's better that people see him here. On behalf of CBK, just say one word before we conclude. Bwana Nyaoga.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important occasion because KDIC is taking a major step in the effort at consumer protection. Central Bank and KDIC are completely tied at the hip, and I am sure that the board chaired by Teko here will ensure that they put in place systems, processes, and procedures that will cushion consumers from any governance challenges that the institution may face, because in as much as we're asking the customer institutions to remit the deposits, the governance systems within KDIC are key, because the board is a policy-making organ, and the management here, headed by Mahmoud, enforces those policies. And therefore, as Central Bank, we really support this move, and it is an important step towards consumer protection. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bwana Nyaoga. So finally, to all other members of the financial institution in this country, let's work together to ensure that the system is vibrant as usual, and so that our customers across the board are happy. With that, may I now invite the Acting Cabinet Secretary, Ambassador Ukur Yatani, to come and speak to us this morning. Ambassador Yatani.
The chair of KDIC, members of the board, representatives of member institutions, chairman of CBK, my friend Nyaoga, the CEO Mahmoud, KDIC management and staff, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Habari zenu. I think these are testimony that in a disciplined society, time is really not the biggest issue. We can have meetings at night, we can have meetings as early as we can. And initially I was really pressed. I felt I was a bit unfair because of trying to adjust the program to suit my own conditions. But I can see the hall is full, so thank you very much for coming. It is indeed with great honor to preside over this important event in our collective journey towards a stable financial sector in this country. Over the last 2.5 decades, the banking sector in Kenya has experienced remarkably vibrant growth with regard to financial inclusion and offer a variety of products to the diverse customers. As a result of these changes and milestones, the safety net players have had to adjust accordingly so as to cope with these changes. The changes in the banking sector have indeed significantly supported the growth of the Kenyan economy, as well as securing the growth of the East African community in general. I think if we look at the journey we have traveled on that trajectory of economic growth, we've really done marvelous. We've done so well. And by all measure, as a region, I think we are comparable to none. The trick is just to sustain it, to stay focused on the path that we have chosen. As part of the government reforms to create a vibrant and globally competitive financial sector, the government has continued to institute reform measures designed to entrench a saving culture among the citizens. This culture cannot be achieved and sustained when depositors live in fear of losing their hard-earned money. The era of pillow saving, the era of putting money in places that are hidden within the house, I think is long gone. We're in a conventional financial setup, and we have to work hard and make sure that the money we have are in safe places so that they can continue contributing to the various sectors in the country. But this can only happen if we have faith in the various banking institutions of this country. We know that, at whatever time I need my money, I get it. Whatever time I want to close my account, I'll be allowed to do it. So that stability and predictability is key. In this regard, the KDIC is mandated to provide deposit insurance and incentives for sound risk management by ensuring that such fears are not only alleviated, but depositors' money is protected with other safety net players at all times. Ladies and gentlemen, the steps that were undertaken to enable us reach this far were not only deliberate, but also professionally calibrated. Since the establishment of the Deposit Insurance Fund Board in 1986, the insured deposit coverage limit has been maintained at a maximum of Kenya shilling 100,000 per depositor. This amount is in tandem with the country's economic development, size of average bank deposit, as well as inflation trends. This implies that the adequacy of deposit insurance as a financial safety net has been declining. I think it will be explained later. The banking sector's dynamic landscape, coupled with the myriads of complex products developed over the last 3 decades, raises fundamental issues of relevance and adequacy of insurance premium since the establishment of this in 1986. Kenya is now a hub of innovations, and the advent of mobile money a decade ago has placed this country at higher levels and made it pace set in the region's financial perspective, a position the government is keen to defend. You can look at the M-Pesa. We are actually the global leader, and many countries are coming here to Kenya to benchmark, to see, to learn, so that they can do the same in their countries. And we are not talking of the regional countries. We are talking of developed countries. You can transact your M-Pesa from anywhere, from China. That's how far this country has come. It may also be noted that, like many other innovations, technology has opened the country and the financial sector in particular to numerous adversaries such as cybercrime, thereby increasing fragility of the financial sectors. We're in an era of money laundering, we're in an era of terrorism, we're in an era that as much as we develop, we must be also alive to other dark forces that are working very hard to reverse the gains that we've made. And we have to adopt accordingly and ensure that our regulatory agencies are up to task. In addressing some of these challenges attributed to the country's rapid adoption of technology, and in further fulfillment of public policy objective, the government recently reviewed the mandate of KDIC from a pay box plus to risk minimizer, giving the cooperation powers of early detection and intervention so as to protect the depositor's interest. I think longer gone are the days when we deal with the postmortem. We are now, when we get any signs that this bank or these financial institutions are showing signs of headache, are showing signs of, challenges. That's why KDIC has been now, have continued to now enjoy expanded mandate to make sure that those interventions through early detection and interventions are done in good time rather than actually dealing with the problem when the bank has gone undone. In executing its mandate, therefore, the corporation is expected to work closely with the Central Bank of Kenya and other safety net players to proactively address sectoral matters that endanger not only depositors' money, but the stability of the financial sector in general. That's why the collaboration between Central Bank, the KDIC should actually rely on Central Bank as a regulator to see the health of every financial institutions. They need to have unlimited access. They need to make sure that the collaboration between the two agencies are enhanced at all times so that they can make sure that should there be a challenge, there's time now to adequately intervene. Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to note that the corporation has continued to play a leading role in the region, being the second deposit insurance to enjoy such an expanded mandate in sub-Saharan Africa after Nigeria's Deposit Insurance Corporation, in addition to being instrumental in helping our neighbors establish and trade deposit insurance. That actually still goes back to the role that we play. We do not only address our own domestic issues, but we are also a player in the region. And I'm happy to know that KDIC has extended its generosity to the neighboring countries in the region so that they can establish the same, so that we are at par in a way that, because what affects the neighboring country has a potential of reversing the gains that we've made. And to develop as a country, to develop as a region, will be good for all of us. I wish to state that cooperation is alive to the fact that it may not be possible to deliver on the above mandate fully without a robust strategy and plan that is aligned to other government initiatives. In this regard, I congratulate the board and management of KDIC for coming up with an elaborate, focused strategic plan that will guide its activities during the period 2018-2023. They say, when you don't know where you are going, you don't get lost. But now you can get lost because you have crafted your own path without any pressure. You decided that you are going to walk from this point to another point in the future. And that's why it's really important that, at any given stage, you need time to reflect and review whether you are fully on course or whether maybe you are diverting. The clarity of roadmap, the visionary path. You should not also compare yourself with the local standards. You must really aspire to be an international pacemaker, world standard and no substitute to it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's also important to note that for years, KDIC has been charging member institutions a flat rate of premiums. This practice has been criticized for not providing incentives for sound risk management and also considered as a serious disincentive for many institutions. If all of us have certain uniform, if all of us are given same prescription, therefore there will be no motivation. That's why, we must have a disaggregated so that the premiums are actually done at different levels to give incentives, to make sure that, we have different measures and the sky is the limit. You can aspire to anything. We can expand our deposit base because you know that should there be any risk, then we are likely to attract more benefits in the future. I am therefore pleased to know that the corporation has now developed a model that will enable it to assess and levy risk-based premium. This model will go a long way in instilling discipline in the banking sector and further provide incentives for sound risk management as envisaged in the KDIC Act 2012, which is also in line with the international best practices. I, at this stage, encourage KDIC to fully engage and sensitize all stakeholders before its expected rollout in 2020. Public participation is an important component, is a mandatory component in our constitution, and therefore you should not ambush anyone. You should not really play other cards under the table. Make sure that this is publicized for it to get all the necessary support and criticism, if need be, from all the diverse stakeholders that we have in this country. I hasten to add that while failure of financial institutions affect our entire population, it is sad to know that the majority of depositors and citizens at large have limited understanding of deposit insurance. The thing is, how much do we know about KDIC? Do we all know it? Maybe the information is quite limited within the circles of Nairobi or the financial institutions. But every Wanjiku, whether they come from every corner of this country, they need to know that their little earnings is well secured, is well protected at all times by institutions that have been mandated to do the same. Globally, players in this sector are going out of their way to carry out targeted awareness campaigns and literacy education. That's why you should also do the same. I said, you should not compare yourself with your own standards. You must compare yourself with world standards, and if possible, do it better. I therefore encourage KDIC to invest in similar initiatives by ensuring deposit insurance becomes a household name in Kenya. We have Kenyan's media space has been really opened. Every Kenyan, whether through a radio, a television, internet, WhatsApp, Instagram, Kenyans are so educated, particularly the mobile gadgets. So I think 2/3 of the populations are well connected. So you should devise a product that's going to now address rich people from the comfort of their homes. Ladies and gentlemen, in the period 2015-2016, our banking sector experienced market turbulence that left 3 banks in receivership. The effects of this turbulence shook the industry and continue to be felt across the banking sector to date. I would like to commend KDIC for the pragmatic role they played together with CBK in resolving this situation. It is worth noting that for the first time in the history of this country, depositors of a bank placed under receivership were able to access part of the deposit within the first 7 days. I think we need to clap for KDIC. In the past, it's been a death sentence. Should a bank go under, you will lose all benefits. Very little communication, little engagement is considered a fait accompli. But now, we have institutions that have taken it upon themselves to make sure that, no depositor loses, but they are also able to address within strict timelines. The team worked tirelessly to execute timely and relevant resolutions where the good bank was hived off and sold, allowing depositors to access even a larger portion of their deposits without waiting for years. I think I don't need to belabor so much on this, because sometimes what you are supposed to get today, the value of your money today, and the value of the same money 10 years to come, I'll just be maybe carrying equivalent of what my friend Nyaoga just said, the old notes. They are now considered worthless as from end of today. So even your savings, if you do not have access to it right away, then it's just as good as really not serving any purpose. At this juncture, I wish to challenge KDIC, CBK, and the other safety net players to make this phenomenal success a norm rather than exception in the sector. We want it to be sustained. We want it to be even much efficient in terms of addressing these concerns. The National Treasury, from where I sit for the time being, will be available to offer any support needed to ensure successful intervention as required. As you all understand, bank failure is normally a very painful experience, and the experience of the last 3 institutions, closed between 2015 and 2016, made many innocent families and entrepreneurs suffer. We cannot, as a country, continue to grow the size of our economy if certain securities, if certain assurances are not provided. Particularly the small and medium, entrepreneurs. They borrow money, they invest, they do the savings. Any trigger to the contrary is going to really plunge this country into bigger debts of an underdevelopment. That's why we really need to stimulate our local, because the base is the most important. There are very few, I'm told there are very few, only 3% who could be owning, the entire deposits in this country. But the 97, 98% of the depositors, are people who say between 0 to maybe 100,000. So they must be protected. They must get that assurance that the little money that they have had with a lot of pain are secured at all times. To this effect, we remain grateful to all depositors for their understanding, patience, and resilience during the difficult resolution process. Many of them have been very understanding. Despite the initial panic, but many have actually bestowed trust in government, in CBK, and in KDIC to make sure that, even if it takes as much as 2, 3, 4, 5 years, their money will still be, safe. I assure that moving forward and to minimize such experience, the corporation, working closely with the Central Bank of Kenya, will aggressively undertake its mandate of early detection and intervention in resolving troubled banks with required zeal. To this end, I would like to emphasize on the need to have all safety net players to closely work together in establishing and implementing seamless mechanisms of information sharing by integrating the system to facilitate effective information sharing. I think this is very important. The safety net players, the CBK, and all other institutions, including even other arm of government, mainstream government, we need to share this information so that there's a possibility of intervening in those situations as early as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, implementation of a robust surveillance system will greatly reduce bank failures. It is therefore imperative that this corporation put appropriate mechanism to cushion depositors to enable them continue with normal life, even as resolution options are addressed through an enhanced payout limit, which we are unveiling today. After careful consideration of various economic factors, KDIC, with approval of the National Treasury, has reviewed the deposit coverage limit, which I have the pleasure to launch today, from Kenya shilling 100,000 to Kenya shilling 500,000, effectively July 2020. And indeed making this the highest in Africa. I think this is a milestone. A movement from 100,000 to 500,000 Kenya shilling, making it the highest in Africa, is something that we need to be proud of. This means that up to 98% accounts of or depositors are fully covered. Up to 98% of all depositors under these arrangements will be fully covered. So you can imagine, what segment. We are only talking of 2% who will be, falling outside that parameter. 98% of Kenyans are covered at all times to get their full payment should any bank run into trouble. This is really important, and this is something commendable. It is indeed further, and it will indeed further enhances the value of the amount covered from the current 8.2% to 20% in line with the international best practice. So we are already at the international level. By doing this, we are not below, but we are at the same level with developed countries with very high developed financial institutions elsewhere. In this respect, I'm informed that KDIC, in fostering financial stability, will continue to work closely with CBK, National Treasury, and member institutions of licensed commercial banks and microfinance banks to deepen cooperation and coordination so as to mitigate bank failures in our country as we race towards being the financial hub of Africa. We're already there, and I think we are very happy about it. In conclusion, I thank the partners and all those who participated in this decorated, momentous journey of sustained financial stability in the banking sector by choosing to be a player and supporter of KDIC at all times. Thank you very much, and God bless you at all times.
Thank you very much, Bwana Waziri. Can I ask the CEO, the chairman, please, to join Bwana Waziri at the front? And may I ask all the board members of KDIC to please also join before Waziri presses and officially
May I
launches.
now
Chairman CBK.
Yes, Chairman CBK, please.
request the company or the prominent people who have made KDIC a success to join us?
Point over there. Make it dramatic. Make it dramatic.
5, 4,
3, 2, 1. This is the revised deposit coverage limit. Ladies and gentlemen, the revised deposit coverage limit of 500,000 from 1989 to present day, it's been 100,000 shillings. I think this deserves a large and loud round of applause for the step that has been taken. I will beg your indulgence, sir, for just a few photographs. Can you please stand with the CEO and the two chairmen in front, kindly? You can step forward. Okay, I'll arrange you, don't worry. Hold my hand, there. That's great. Come forward, please. If you can, go ahead. And please come forward. And can I ask the other gentleman, just so that you can be seen by the photographer. Excellent. Great. Can we take that photograph? We'll take just a series of photographs, and I beg your indulgence. Smile, lady and gentleman. Excellent. Could you please come forward and join this row on both sides? You can move one step behind. Thank you. There we go. Excellent. I feel like taking some affirmative action and asking Madame Dorothy, please come to the center next to the CS. Is that all right then? Can I have the CEO, the chairman, KDIC, with the CS specifically? Don't leave yet, the rest of you, please. If you can come forward. Thank you. And we can take that picture. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you. And now, Buenos Dias, thank you so much. Can you watch us take a picture of the entire board? Because they have never taken a picture together as this board. So I'd just like them to take the picture. Is that okay? It's okay without you.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much.
Can we move? Great. Please stand in a line. Thank you. Bwana Nyaoga, Daktari, are you part of this one? Okay, great. All right. Can we take that? Is it part of financial policy not to show teeth? All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you so much, lady and gentlemen. I'll beg your indulgence just for a short while.
DPP really works very closely with us on the other side of banking. And I also want to recognize the University Vice Chancellors present, because Bwana Waziri, we want to work very closely with the Vice Chancellors to develop curriculums on deposit insurance. We want to make Kenya the hub of capacity on deposit insurance. With those few remarks, may I now call Our Lady here to give a vote of thanks, then we can allow the Waziri to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a great day, and I'm sure we are all excited. It's a great milestone for KDIC as an institution, and a great milestone for all of us, the stakeholders, and as the citizens of this country. And given my role to give the vote of thanks, I'll first of all thank our chief guest, Honorable Ambassador Kuriatani, the Acting Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury, for finding time to grace our event this morning from your busy schedule. We really say thank you very much. We'd like also to say thank you to the National Treasury team who have been of great support in our endeavor in executing our mandate. And as our chief guest indicated clearly that he continues to assure us of support, and going forward, we continue to partner together. We would like to say also thank you very much to the chairman and entire board of directors of Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, who have also continued to provide strategic direction and stewardship of the corporation all day as we continue also to deliver on our mandate. Central Bank of Kenya, the chairman of Central Bank of Kenya, the governor of the Central Bank of Kenya, and the entire team of Central Bank of Kenya, we say that you have indeed been a mother to us from birth to where we are right now. We say thank you very much, and we will continue to collaborate together as we deliver also on this deposit insurance scheme. Sister institutions, thank you very much also for the collaboration that you give us to continue to assure the citizens of this country and give confidence in the financial sector. We are very grateful. Member institutions also for partnering with us when information is required to continuously assess the health of these institutions. You have been of great support and you have been there on time to provide what is required. Asanteni sana. All the invited guests, we also say thank you for finding time this morning to be here and to celebrate with us this great milestone. We also thank all the other stakeholders who were invited and have also found time to be part of us this morning. Tunasema asante sana. The entire staff of KDIC, they have been at the background to make sure that this becomes a success. All that we see here, there was effort behind it, and we especially recognize the team that was being chaired by our dear Lawrence to make sure that this becomes a success. We can't forget the hotel to say thank you for the hospitality that you provided for us. It was a chilly morning, but indeed you have provided the warmth, and I'm sure we have all grabbed a cup of coffee or tea, and we can still go back. There's more to be served. Tunasema thank you for the ambience, for providing the facilities. Tunashukuru sana. And to this end, we say asante sana, and as you leave, may God bless you all as we continue to serve the great land of Kenya. Asante. Sorry. Yes, and sorry, how do I forget the most important part? Breakfast is served outside. You're all welcome. Asante sana.